Hey, welcome to the Coffee Sports Network. I'm your host, Rod Coffee, live on tape, on location, in vacation, in Jamaica, man. And like they say here on the island, Wagwan, or what's up? How you doing? Yeah, I am in a baseball state of mind. So we're going to represent the one and only Bengals, the Detroit Tigers. Well, I talk a little bit about the game and what it means to me, and you can let me know what it means to you in the comments. Oh man, my love of baseball, it started early. I remember in 1968, believe it or not, I was a little kid, sound asleep, and neither one of my parents were baseball fans at all, not even sports fans. And they woke my brother and sister, myself up out of a sound sleep on a, I'm not sure if it was a school night or not, but they say, "Hey guys, get up. I'm going to take you downtown. You're going to see something that you may not ever see again." So we jump into the station wagon in our pajamas and no idea what's going on and where we're going. We get downtown, and it was bedlam in the best way. The Detroit Tigers had just won the 1968 World Series, and the streets literally went from race riots, post martial law. Yeah, we had martial law before. Look it up. And to unity, all because of one World Series. Thank you, Willie Horton, for calming the flames at the time. And Al Kaline, Bill Freehand, Mickey Lolich, et al. Yeah, so that was it. I knew that baseball was something special. Following that first experience, uh, childhood, my adolescence was filled with street baseball, from stickball to wiffle ball to 9 on 9 in the park. We played at Miller Park right outside of Detroit because they had nicer fields outside the city limits, and we would play not slow pitch, not fast pitch, but medium pitch. I mean, we were doing the best that we could to emulate the big leaguers. And like I said, we played 9 on 9, and we would play all day, go by each other's houses, jump in each other's handlebars, our mitt on the handlebars, and off we went for full double headers in the park. And that was a big part of my childhood. As a matter of fact, that just sparked another memory. Mark the Bird Fidrich, everybody remembers him, all the rage. At the time of Bird Mania, I had a paper route, as did all of my buddies. We decided that we had to go see the bird. And I remember we made a decision to go see a Monday night baseball game. Yeah, they used to have baseball on network TV Monday night, and it was the Yankees against my Tigers, and Mark Fidrich was going to be on the mound. My buddies and I had made an agreement that we would ride our bicycles downtown Detroit, which is really about 12 to 15 miles. We'll say a good 12, 10 to 12 from where I grew up. And we all did our paper routes in the morning, rise and shine, 4 a.m., get her done. And then we literally rode our bicycles all the way down to Tiger Stadium to be among the first in line to get tickets for that night's Monday night baseball game. And we did. And boy, did we pimp out. We got lower level seats, which, you know, for us was unbelievable. We might as well have been in the dugout. Um, we rode our bikes back to our neighborhood in time for school. Could barely concentrate knowing that, we were going to the big game that night. We got a ride down from my buddy's mom, went to the game, and we were locked and loaded. We couldn't afford hot dogs, so we brought our own in tinfoil. We had like soda and juice in Ziploc bags because we couldn't afford to buy the concessions at the stadium, and we did not care at all. I remember Tigers won 3-2. Um, uh, it was incredible, and that's when the "Go Bird Go" chant started, and we want Bird," and we're slamming our seats, demanding that he come out and take an encore. It was like something out of the Field of Dreams, really. Yeah, that was incredible. The Tigers weren't very good during the Fidrich era, but it didn't matter because every time he took the mound, it was it was magical. He's talking to the ball, and the other players, they seemed to, raise their level as well when he pitched. So it was spectacular time in my life. So from there, the next really baseball part of my life came while I was in college. I wound up getting a job as a security guard at Tiger Stadium in 1983. And that was a rough and tumble season, getting to know what life was like as a guard at a baseball stadium. And believe me, it's not for the faint of heart. You got to know how to handle yourself because back in the day it was on, a lot of booze, a lot of nonsensical behavior. And yeah, but it was great. It was a great experience. By my second year in '84, I was a I was a made man and made one of the not a supervisor, but a guy who got the good assignments. I was no longer having to fight in the bleachers with unruly fans. I wound up getting a primo position. It was called a spotter. I was assigned to sit in the scoreboard in the second deck, left field second deck, and I would have binoculars and just basically look for trouble spots in the stadium when people may be about to start a fight or something was going on, and then I would just uh, grab my trusty radio and say, "Section 345, might want to take a walk over." Other than that, I'm sitting in a photo booth watching the game in a chair with photographers who are there to have the best sight line that they could get. It was all good. And my best buddy who got me involved in working at the stadium, he wound up having an even more primo job as the dugout guard. So the two of us, we had it going. We got to be buddies with the players, and it was fantastic. And needless to say, that was the year of the Bless You Boys, 1984 World Series champions. Started out 35-5, and the rest is history. I mean, oh my gosh, I can't even tell you all of the incredible experiences from that World Series year. But I'll fast forward to the championship night. If you look close, you might see me in a highlight. Uh, Last game of the series. We didn't know it was going to be the last game, but because we were winning and looked like we were about to win the World Series, the guards went from our normal post, and we were on the field, ready to protect the field. So we thought, from people rushing the field. And between innings, you see it now in any game, we would line up on the out of bounds line, the fair foul lines, and we would just have guards from the outfield all the way down to the infield, making sure that no knuckleheads ran out on the field. That was until the end of the game. I was kneeling with my supervisor next to the Padres dugout. There are certain photographs of that era where you can see me, especially when the moment happened. What moment was that? When Goose Gossage faced Kirk Gibson, and well, the rest is history. Gibby took him deep. Uh, the stadium went absolutely insane. I remember going out on the field to make sure nobody ran on the field. I was standing about, this close to my boss, and you could feel the stadium shaking. And he says to me, I remember him saying, "Some guys will do anything for attention," kind of referencing Kirk Gibson's heroics. And yeah, I could barely hear him, and he was, 6 inches away from me. Uh, After the game, though, that was during the game. Fans didn't run on the field. After the game was a different story. Ain't no way we were stopping those people. It was insane. Luckily, back then, I had no fear. And when those folks started coming, I mean, you can't get aggressive with like thousands of people. So I was basically trying to stay out the way. Every now and again, I stick my foot out to trip somebody just for fun. But it was incredible. It was absolutely incredible. Matter of fact, let me go back and reference somebody who I've always had a lot of admiration for in the American League Championship Series before the World Series. We defeated the Milwaukee Brewers, and that was the next step to get us to the World Series. And again, fans were running on the field after we won the American League Championship, and I was in the visitor dugout, and the police were arresting people for unruly behavior, and they were handcuffing them. There were poles in the dugout, and they were handcuffing people to the poles until they could take them down. Well, we were already downtown, but wherever they were going to go. And people were still loaded and happy and crazy, and they were handcuffed to the poles, and people are running around on the field. And the game obviously was over, and Robin Yount was standing in the doorway to the locker room, and he's just smiling. And he says to me, "This is good." He goes, "I remember when we won the American League Championship, and I'm happy for you guys." And people saw Robin Yount, who were handcuffed, and they said, there's Robin Yount. Hey, man. The guy literally, he's already out of his uniform. He's got a t-shirt on and his game pants and flip-flops. And he goes back into the locker room, and he comes out, and he's got like two beers, 2 cans of beer in each hand, four beers. And he walks over to these guys who are handcuffed, and he starts pouring beers in their mouth while they're handcuffed, just to be cool. The cops got really mad at him and told him to take his butt back to the locker room, and he just said, "Relax. This is a once in a lifetime experience, man." And I always thought that Robin Yount was really cool for that. So shout out Robin Yount. Yeah. So yeah, the experiences I got a chance to have at the stadium, from getting to know all the players and even going out and hanging out with them. I mean, they hung out. This was not today's world. I mean, the players would go to nightclubs. They would go to Hoot and Nan's. Anybody who was a Tiger fan from back in the day knows Hoot and Nan's, a small dive bar directly across the street from the stadium. The players would literally go there after games sometimes. Um, Other times you might bump into them at a different spot. Um, I remember going to dinner after the World Series with Darrell Evans and his family in Mexican Town. Yes, that's the name of a Mexican area in Detroit with the best restaurants, or among the best anyway. But yeah, I mean, hung out with everybody from Rusty Kuntz to oh, Tom Brookins, and you name it. I mean, there were the guys who kept to themselves, like Lou Whitaker and Chet the Jet Lemon, but they were always good dudes. And Gibby and Rosema were attached at the hip. I think they married sisters. I believe I think their wives are sisters to each other. But it was an incredible time. I got a chance. I had free reign of the stadium. Got a chance to meet the late, great, great, great Ernie Harwell, who to this day is one of the best humans I've ever gotten the pleasure of meeting. So, uh, baseball, baseball has a lot of memories for me. Uh, After that, during college, wound up becoming very good buddies with a future Hall of Famer. and that kind of continued my baseball experiences. This person obviously became a professional baseball player, and I became a news and sports reporter in both newspaper and TV. And throughout our early careers, we had kind of a tradition where I would go and hang out at spring training with him in Plant City. And yeah, got a chance to really see what it's like being a major leaguer up close and personal before the season actually starts. And yeah, it's a grind. One of the cool things that I remember was, I believe it was a Thursday night, and my buddies said, "Hey, we gotta go to Hooters tonight." Um, I said, "Fine." I said, "Why?" He said, "It's $1 million ball player night," and that was back when maybe only a handful of players made over $1 million a year. And it was such a cool experience because they invited everybody in the organization, single A, double A, triple A players, whomever, to show up at Hooters. And it was just a food and drink fest. I mean, people trying to hurt themselves, just gorging on everything they could get their hands on. And at the end of the evening, the only people who contribute to the check were people who made over $1 million. And I thought that was like so cool, and that, it fostered like a family environment. And, the guys who had made it were, being big brothers to the guys who were trying to make it. And yeah, that was kind of cool to be a part of that. I felt bad for other people at the restaurant because they couldn't get any service. The waitresses and servers were just like hanging out in our section, and anything you needed, they were there in an instant. Yeah, so yeah, got a chance to hang hard. Got a chance to get to know some of the players. Went to a fight party one night with players. Mike Tyson was fighting. I believe that evening he was fighting Frank Bruno, if I'm not mistaken, the heavyweight from UK. And one of the funny things about the evening was Eric Davis. ED was not completely comfortable with me being there because I was a member of the media. And my buddy kept trying to tell him that I was cool and, don't trip. And by the end of the night, we were good. He decided that he thought I looked like Sugar Ray Leonard. I'm gonna call you Sugar Ray. That's what I'm gonna call you. So I got a chance to remind him of that years and years later. But that was a great evening. Myself, my buddy, Lenny Harris, aka Coop, the late great Mike Sharpenson, God rest his soul. Uh, uh, ED, Eric Davis. Um, yeah, and the watch party was hosted by none other than Mr. Griffey. That's Ken Griffey Sr., who nobody in the organization called Ken. He is and was and still is Mr. Griffey. I'm not on the team, and I don't even dare refer to him as anything else. That's how much respect that man garnered in the organization. I mean, these young cats who, I'm not sure show that kind of respect to everybody, didn't hesitate. Mr. Griffey, Mr. Griffey, Mr. Griffey. I thought that that was like very cool and very in line with, the hierarchy of baseball, which I enjoy. Uh, yeah, so that those are just some good stories that I thought I would share. I'd love to hear your stories. Another thing is, I wanted to ask everybody to remember the very first time I heard a sports talk radio host say this while I was driving years ago about the specialness of baseball and how it's unique, and how everybody who loves baseball can remember the very first time going to a Major League Baseball game. I mean, you can just close your eyes and you can picture it. I can picture it like it were yesterday. I was with the Cub Scouts, and we got tickets, and we went up to the upper deck, left field. My seat was 3 rows up from the rail, 2 rows over, and you look out and just an ocean of green grass. It's like something you can never forget. It's again, they call it Field of Dreams for a reason. Um, but yeah, so I guess that's about it. Uh, Baseball, as they used to say on Saturday Night Live, been Betty, good to me. Oh, when we're speaking of that, you know, semi-offensive Spanish accent that they used to do, I also got a chance to experience baseball in the Dominican Republic, and woo, yeah, you go just go hang out. It don't have to be a baseball game. You will understand why these guys are those dudes. Baseball is everything in DR. Everything. Everybody plays. From little kids 5 years old to old heads 70. I don't know. Drive a truck through town. People jump in the back of the pickup truck, go to the baseball field. I mean, there's a reason that people and players from the Dominican Republic are who they are. And, much respect. Shout out DR. Yeah, so like I said, baseball is a special sport. I hope it makes its comeback. I loving Showtime, Shohei Otani, and all the other players who are kind of, hopefully bringing the sport back to the popularity it deserves. Um, yeah, and I'm hoping that this year is the year of the Tiger. Yeah, let's go. BJ back in the house, Verlander. JV, I should say. Man, I couldn't be more excited for this year's upcoming season, and I hope you are too. So for now, I'm Rod Coffee with the Coffee Sports Network. Until next time, time out.